Now, I had a monologue written and prepared to talk about Alabama's quarterback problems and the issues of diagnosing things with their offensive line mixed with the injuries and the bad weather. But I want to, again, we're always going to keep it real here at Crane & Company with you guys. That's how we help you win the water cooler to the best of our abilities. And the truth is that Alabama is just unrecognizable right now. Like, I look at Alabama since Saban has taken over, and I'm not talking about the first year where they lost to La Monroe and he was having to turn everything around. But when I watch Alabama, I don't have that same feeling of almost feeling sorry for the other team. And there's a couple things out there that I do want to address when it comes to Alabama that I've seen from people that I respect a ton that I know what they're talking about, but I kind of disagree with on some things. But the thing that separated Alabama from everybody else when they really had this thing cooking wasn't just that they had a monopoly on the offensive line and the defensive line. I think we can all agree with that. It wasn't just that they were bringing in incredible skill players. It's that they had those things mixed with incredible football IQ. They were not only bigger and faster than you were, they were smarter than you were. They were more disciplined than you were. They understood the circumstances and they were present where their feet were more than you were. Now, I'm not saying that a bunch of astrophysicists on the team. I'm talking about from a football IQ standpoint. And when you go back and you watch the tape, Alabama struggles with the fundamental things that you have to do to win games. We always say on the show, most teams lose games, they don't win them. Whether it's making bad decisions on muff punts, whether it's not being able to get the snap off, whether it's controllable penalties, mixed with the talent fluctuation that we've seen up front with the rest of college football catching up to them. That's probably the most surprising part. But I do want to address something that I've seen when we talk about that there's a problem in the locker room and Alabama's players aren't playing hard or they're not giving effort. Okay, this isn't basketball or this isn't baseball. If you go out there and don't give effort, you are about to physically get your ass kicked. Like, what are you just going to run around and let people run over you? Or let somebody just olay somebody to go destroy somebody? Like, this isn't a movie. This isn't The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler where he pissed off all the other inmates that are playing against the guards. Football has physical consequences for things like that, and that's just not really something that happens. You can play bad. You can not be ready to play. But giving effort and putting yourself in harm's way and putting your teammates in harm's way because of whatever reason, it really doesn't happen in this sport like it happens in other ones. A lot of it is a focus problem. And apparently, if that's the case, to quote my brother, nobody told the defense. Like, apparently, if that was the case, nobody told the defense that held South Florida like 3 points that was running around getting absolutely destroyed. But we may have found one guy that was
This is the kid they told.
Yeah, let's run the clip. Maybe this is the one guy they told. Let's run the clip real quick.
He's like, man, I don't want to do this today.
Man, stand up for Jalen, man.
Should have started at Jalen.
Let's play the clip.
Let's play Jalen. Oh, God.
See, this is that. I'm telling you, nobody makes that decision. Nobody says, hey, I'm not giving effort. Run it again. Nobody says, I'm not giving effort today. I'm going to let this grown man run through me. Wham. That's not how this works because you pay the price. And then you're going to go through a whole week of workouts and practice and all that just to show up and just give no effort. So, again, I had this whole monologue prepared about they need to tailor the offense to Jalen Milroe, and we're going to get into that and make adjustments. But I just woke up this morning. I have coffee, all right? I hop out the bed like I'm possessed.
Yeah, you do.
And there's only one company that I get my coffee from, the Wonka of chocolate, right? That is Black Rifle Coffee Company, okay? Not only do they have ready-to-drink cans for people with no time to brew coffee in the traditional way, but their coffee subscription gives you a chance to purchase limited edition flavors. They give you nothing but the best. It's a Coffee of the Month club where you get premium roasts from the best farms worldwide. And guess what? This month, it was Space Bear. How about that? And they just launched their Halloween pumpkin spice collection featuring the Headless Horseman
Ichabod.
Ghost, my uncle Ichabod Crane. Y'all know what time it is. With pumpkin spice flavors so good, it'll haunt your taste buds for all eternity. We're still waiting on that Flaming Dragon Brew, though.
Great things take time.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's
Great things take
I guess
time.
they got to go get these beans from
there's some
Narnia or
patent
something.
things that we're like the name, some people. There's a website out there.
Okay, so stop running out of coffee and sign up for that Coffee Club subscription. Go to blackriflecoffee.com. Use our promo code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, at checkout for 10% off your order. That's blackriflecoffee.com. And use our promo code BOOSTER for 10% off. Black Rifle Coffee, America's coffee. Bring in David Cohn, former Michigan quarterback, my brother, former Western State Colorado wide receiver, Blaine Crane. I've seen this narrative around, and look, players get upset about playing time and situations, but what you don't do is go out on the field and let yourself get destroyed by somebody physically.
There are physical consequences to this game. Organizations can tank, but players can't do that.
Yeah. That's not how that works.
I think for the first time in a long time, we're seeing Alabama have problems, plural. Like it's multifaceted, and you're combining all of them. I mean, last year, Bryce Young and Will Anderson, 2 of the top 3 picks in the NFL draft, were able to cover up a lot of the problems. And, what I want to say is, it's normal. Like what we're seeing from Alabama right now is actually normal.
Yeah.
It's what's not normal is to win 6 championships in 12 years. What's not normal is to win a championship every 3 years and to win double-digit games for 14 seasons in a row. It's not normal to watch Monday Night Football last night and both of the quarterbacks starting are 2 of the last 3 that you've had at your program. Like that to me, that he set the standard so high that now that you're actually doing normal things, I mean, we're talking about how bad Alabama played this weekend and they still won, right? Like last year we said it was a down year for Alabama. They still won 10 games. That's how you know you've set the bar so astronomically high that when we start to see problems, plural, multiple, it's like, it's weird. It's like, that was such a weird game to watch. I'm like, this is South Florida and we're getting trucked like that and we can't throw the football.
Can't run the ball.
And now Ole Miss is coming to town. You don't think Lane Kiffin wants to beat his? He just had to watch Steve Sarkisian, the OC who followed him up at Alabama, beat the mentor. You don't think Lane Kiffin wants to beat him?
Yeah.
So you got to get it fixed quick. I think Jalen Milroe is going to be the starting quarterback.
Blaine, empires rise and fall.
Rome, even
Football
Rome
is
fell.
cyclical.
Yeah.
I remember growing up, Auburn couldn't beat Alabama. I mean, it's this, and then Nick Saban comes in, and Alabama has that dynastical run. Then obviously Georgia's doing what they're doing now. You had Clemson hop in there for a little bit. We've seen what Florida's done as well under Urban Meyer. But when it comes to Alabama, I think David is right. They're coming back down to earth a little bit. The game is changing.
Yes.
Times are evolving. Now, that doesn't mean that Alabama can't. They recruit as good as anybody. It's not like they have bad players. They just don't have the best players at almost every position, including up front. But if you're Alabama right now, you have to tailor this. After watching Tyler Buckner, nobody was surprised. We talked about it here. He wasn't impressive at Notre Dame. Throwing the ball, he's got some athleticism. Look, the weather was terrible. I get it was a lot of bad circumstances. South Florida threw a Dr. Seuss book at him on defense with all the movement and stunning and things they were doing. But for Alabama, just even for the layman to see, it has to be an offense that is tailored to Jalen Milroe that puts him in a position to use his athleticism, whether that's through the zone read, the RPO. To be honest with you, it needs to be an offense that looks a lot like Alabama's last year.
Yeah, you need to turn Jalen Milroe into Nick Marshall.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do. There's no reason for this kid to be taking 3-step, 5-step drops and throwing the ball 25 plus. Get him outside the pocket. All right, and you go back to the offensive line. And we've said this before. You can be huge, and that's fine. But it's so weird seeing Alabama not be football smart. I'm so used to seeing Alabama do the right thing when it comes to football plays. All right, not even being the biggest and being the fastest, which they were, but they're the biggest, the fastest, and the smartest, and that's tough to lose a football game. Go back to what you were saying earlier in the monologue, which I want to touch on. I've never seen a team tank and win.
Yeah, you don't.
You ever seen a team tank and win before? No, it's not a real thing. This isn't Valkyrie, all right? This isn't a coup. Tom Cruise isn't about to walk in. You go through too much on a weekly basis to go throw a game on a Saturday. I'll never believe.
If I got to go through inside drill on Tuesday,
and
do perimeter drill on Wednesday.
Go do inside drill one time.
PTSD, and I didn't even have to.
Yeah, and you played quarterback.
Go do inside drill one time and see if you're going to fake it through an entire week. But there's problems for Alabama right now. And there's not really a guy on this roster that you can flex seal this thing with and fix it.
Yeah.
Because that was Bryce Young. That was
Jalen Milroe's the closest thing you got.
Yeah, and that's a sad thing to say because I think Jalen's going to be a great player in a couple years. He's has to see a lot more, but his athleticism's through the roof. But I go back to the Texas game. Alabama had 0 sacks.
Yeah.
They had 0. There's things that are happening at Alabama and it's their fault. They programmed us to be used to the not normal. Right? And I go back to the Texas game. I'm so not used to seeing Alabama playing like that. I'm so used to them, whatever team from whatever conference comes in, holds up the sign.
I'm having to watch it like The Conjuring.
And I have to sit here and tell you that, look, I'm an Auburn fan. You don't want this.
No.
It's all fun and games until they get off the bus and Eddie Lacy's their smallest player.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I remember watching Courtney Upshaw and Dante Hightower and Marcel Darius and these monsters that were not only physically imposing and dominant, but were so football smart.
That was ridiculous.
You had no chance. They could play bad, not want to play bad, but play bad, and you have no chance. But there's no more right now. We want Bama. We want Georgia, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's to that point. Now, again, there's things you can do to fix it, but when I'm watching South Florida shut down Alabama's running game, a South Florida program that I don't think has won a combined 10 games in the last 4 seasons, that's going through head coaches like a Kardashian goes through husbands. It's just weird to see because Blaine's right. They have programmed, and the standard is so high, right, at Alabama. And I'm going to say what I said last year, and people think I'm nuts. I thought I was nuts. Bill O'Brien a little bit, say what you want, but he would tailor the offense around his best player. Bryce Young may have pulled the ball 2 times on the RPO, but, I mean, I'm looking at what Tommy Reed's trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. You went out there with Tyler Buckner trying to throw the ball around a little bit. Can't do it. Ty Simpson, you're asking a lot. That's asking a lot to come in that situation. There was some good and bad. Hey, YouTube, thanks for checking us out. Do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Hit that like button on some of our videos and turn those notifications on. We really appreciate it.